What's up you guys, welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys a super simple install for you. If you guys do have a Tacoma like mine, it's going to be a really awesome one. So basically what we're doing today is, if you guys know, whenever you turn on your high beams, the fog lights tend to turn off. So with this install, it's actually going to keep the high beams and the fog lights on at the same time. And this honestly helps out whenever you guys are out somewhere where it's really pitch dark. It's going to help out with more light output, of course, if you have your high beams and your fog lights on. Also, before we do get into today's video, I wanted to give a big shout out to Common Wealth. So if you guys do want to check them out as well, they're going to be in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get into the video, and I'll show you guys just exactly what this mod is and how to do it. Alright, so before we actually get into the installation process, I want to go ahead and show you just exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on my high beams, and you're going to notice the fog lights did turn off. So of course, by that happening, it actually lowers your output of the actual lights. So if you need your high beams, so you're going to want, of course, a lot of light output. And this kind of takes that away. So with the mod that we're going to be installing today, whenever we do turn on our high beams, the fog lights are actually going to be staying on as well, and that's going to help out, of course, with more light output. So let's go ahead and just stop talking and show you exactly what it is and how it's done. Alright, so I'm going to show you just exactly what comes inside the box before we get into the installation. So right inside, it's going to come with an actual instruction manual, just in case you guys don't understand on how the process works. But as I stated, it's a really simple process. Anybody can do it. So we're not really going to need to use this, but it's there if you need it at home. It also comes with a couple zip ties, and the reason why is because there is going to be some wiring to this, but it is all plug and play. So of course, with having this, you can kind of make it for a cleaner install. It is going to come with some actual alcohol swabs, so that way you can clean off the surface. You'll see why as well. And it comes with two little screws, which you're going to need to install the ballast, I think it's called. And then it's going to come with a fuse, because we're also going to need that as well. Don't be afraid of this, it's super easy. So inside, they actually also provide an awesome little sticker. So the actual product is called the Brite box. I don't know if you guys have heard of it or not, but if you haven't, as I stated, go check it out. It's an awesome product. You'll see why. So the actual modem here, it's going to be this. So this is basically going to go somewhere laid out in the truck, and the two screws are going to be for the actual box. So if you want to screw it down to something, or the alcohol wipe right here, you can kind of clean off the surface, and there is a double-sided tape where you can kind of stick it on. But as I stated, it does come with screws, just in case you want to make it for a little bit more safety. You're going to notice right here, it actually does give you kind of instructions where it goes. So for this whole thing on the wiring, it's actually going to be kind of like a T connection, and it also is going to be for a plug and play. So let me go ahead and unwind this so I can show you what I'm talking about. So the reason I'm showing you guys this part outside before installing it is because when we go to the actual truck, it's going to be kind of hard to get the angles for you guys to see what I'm actually doing. So looking at this right here, it's going to say fog light. So basically, as I stated, it's going to be a T connection. So one side of the connection is going to go connected to the actual stock fog light wiring harness of the vehicle, and then this other side is going to go connected to your actual fog light. So it acts, as I stated, like a T connection. On the other side, you're going to also notice there's one for the high beam, and it's going to be the same exact process. One is going to go connected to the stock wiring harness for the high beam, and the other side is going to go connected to the actual high beam of the vehicle. And you're going to notice right here, you do get another connection. So right here is where we're going to go ahead and install the fuse. Let me go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to go ahead and install it right now. It just literally pushes in, nothing too hard. Close it back up so that way it's weather tight and nothing gets messed up. And then you're going to notice, of course, it is a red connection. So this is going to just go connected to the positive of the battery. It's going to be that simple, nothing too hard. So for this installation, you could do it two ways. You can either, the first one, go in through the wheel well, which is on the side, of course, where the tire is, or you can actually take off this whole grill bezel. It's super easy, nothing too hard, and you can access it through there. That's what I'm going to be doing because I found that to be a lot easier. All you're really going to need is a 10mm socket like this, of course with a wrench, and then you're either going to need a panel removal tool or just a flathead like this. So let's get to it. Super easy. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do to remove this whole thing is you're going to notice there is a little screw here and a screw on this side. That's where we're going to need the 10mm socket. Let's remove it. Once you've done that, you're going to notice over here, right here, there is a little tab, and that's where you need your panel removal tool or a flathead. I'll remove it. On the opposite side, notice there is one right there as well. So same thing. If you do have a 2018 and up Tacoma, you're going to know there is a sensor in the front of the grill. So don't tug on it too hard, but right here you could kind of just pull back. If you want to be really safe, you can remove the sensor. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to put the grill off to the side. Just like that. Now that we have the grill removed, let's go ahead and look inside. So just take note, I do have aftermarket fog lights, so mine is going to look a little slightly different than what it actually should. So you're going to notice right here there is a connection which is connected to my fog light. If you do have stock fog lights, this connection, you'd probably see it like a little higher up here, but since I have aftermarket headlights, it just kind of extends, but it's no problem. It's going to be the same installation. So we're going to go ahead and unconnect this. Super easy, nothing too hard about it. All right, you guys, now that I have the fog light disconnected like this, we're going to go ahead and grab the harness so we can go ahead and start installing it. Just take note, I am working on the driver's side because that is where my battery is. You want to do this install where the closest to the battery. So let's look at the actual harness now. We're going to go ahead and be installing the fog light connection first. As you can tell, it says fog light. So let's grab the whole thing and put it next to the truck. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be feeding this harness through the back of the headlight here. I'm going to grab the connection and feed it all the way down towards the fog light so I can connect it. So now that I brought down the T connection from the actual part that we're going to be installing, we're going to go ahead and connect one of the female sides to the male side, which is going to be the one that's for the fog light. So let's connect those two first. Once you have one side connected, of course we're going to have still the other side of the T connection, and that one's going to go ahead and connect to the stock harness of your truck. Alright, and once it snaps into place, as you can tell, our T connection is now installed and ready to go. Let's go ahead and do the headlight part now. So now that we've connected, of course, the fog light section, now we're going to go ahead and start with the high beam section. So this is what we have left. I'm going to put the box down for now. I'm going to go ahead and put the red connection, which is the power, down for now in a safe location. And now we're going to be connecting the high beam T connection. So let's go ahead and disconnect the actual high beam from the headlights. Mine may look a little bit different on this side because I do have aftermarket headlights as well, so it may look a little different, but the connections will be the same. So disconnect that. Let's go ahead and get our T connection now and connect the male into the female. Make sure it clicks in just like that, and then you want to go ahead and get your T connection female and connect it to the headlight, which is a male. Here's your T connection, nicely done. So up next, you want to go ahead and kind of find a spot on where you can mount this in a safe location. So now that we have the box right here, this is the time when the little alcohol wipe that is provided comes in handy. You're going to want to go ahead and kind of find a location where you want to mount it. For now, I don't really want to make holes until I actually find a good spot. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be cleaning off all this section right here using the provided alcohol wipe, and I'm also going to be using my own alcohol as well to make sure that I clean it good, and then I'll go ahead and take off the backing of it and stick it on as good as tight. The better you clean it, the better it's going to stick. Since I am just using the stickies for this, I'm not actually going to drill it in this time. That is I do need to make sure that it's as clean as possible so it bonds to the actual metal of the truck. Notice it says up on the actual box, so make sure you listen to directions because there's probably a reason why they have it facing up. Not sure why, but it's just stated there. Start tightening up all this using the provided zip ties, and then we'll go ahead and go to the actual installation so we can test these out. All right, so now that we've tidied up the wires, as you can tell, it looks everything's factory. You can't really see anything anymore. All you have left, of course, is the red one. So we're gonna go ahead and now connect it to the positive of the battery. Something that I forgot to mention, and I honestly forgot completely, and I'm glad nothing happened. A pro tip, you do want to disconnect the negative of the battery before doing this installation. I forgot to do it, so I'm gonna go ahead and just keep proceeding. So let's go ahead and connect this. I'm gonna make this as factory as possible, so I'm gonna try to hide the wires as much as possible. This one right here is a size 10 millimeter, just in case you guys are wondering. So let's connect that and reinstall the screw. Nothing hard about this. So now that we've connected it to the positive of the battery, let's go ahead and put the rubber back over so it can look factory, and it'll look like we didn't do anything to this truck. So as you can tell, no excess wires, nothing like that. Everything's factory. If you want, you can zip tie this maybe down here just to make it look 100%. Just like that. So now let's go ahead and test it out and see if it works. All right, you guys, now that the installation is done, I'll be honest, this probably takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes, no more than 20 minutes it should take. It's actually pretty easy. Everything's a plug and play. You don't need to solder anything. So now that it's done, we're gonna go ahead and show you just how it looks. So let's turn on the headlights really quick. And if you guys remember when we would go ahead and turn the high beams on, the fog lights would turn off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and turn them on. And there you go, everything stays on, so you guys have the full output of all the lights that you actually have. So now you're going to go ahead and of course be able to see the way and not get obstructed with anything. So as you can tell, turning it on, turning it off, turning it on, turning it off. Everything is working perfectly, everything's flawless, and it looks OEM. So I hope you guys did enjoy it. Super easy. If you want it, it's in the description box below. Let's go ahead and now reinstall everything and be done. So now that we're done with the installation process, as you can tell, it does work. It's actually really affordable, and as I stated, it's kind of like a safety thing, to be honest, because it helps out with more light output whenever you do need your high beams. Maybe you're out in the country or something like that. This is actually it's gonna help out a lot. So if you guys do want to purchase it, as I stated, it's going to be in the description box below. And also go ahead and check out my good friends at Commonwealth. They're going to also be in the description box below. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share the videos with your family, your friends, and everything like that. Let's help this channel keep growing. See you guys next time. Peace.